The iPhone X came out in 2017. Yes, it's been over 6 years as of 2023 when I'm recording this video, but this iPhone is still so simple, it's stylish, and that original reveal literally makes this phone feel like a flagship even in 2023. And today I'm going to be telling you guys why I think the iPhone X was such an important device. So first of all, this was Apple's 10th anniversary iPhone, the first ever iPhone to cost over $1,000 here in the US, and this phone here is still running iOS 11, so it kind of makes it feel a little bit more rare, which is pretty nice to see. But yeah, being a 10th anniversary iPhone meant that this was a very special iPhone that Apple engineers had the opportunity to work on, and for us as consumers, I honestly have to say this was one of the best looking iPhones, especially for that notch. And that kind of leads me to my second point. This was the first iPhone to come with a notch. People reacted in weird ways, some loved it, some made fun of it, but one thing we can't deny is how beautifully integrated that notch was and just blended in so well. I also think it's hilarious how Apple tried their best to hide the notch with this wallpaper, but really, like, the notch just reminds me a lot of the iPhone 4 days. The iPhone 4 was the first smartphone that Apple made to come with a front-facing camera, and now they kind of kept that same design for many years, but really with the iPhone X, it was all about change, and bringing this completely new design with the notch meant that Apple got a little creative. And you know, these Animojis here were definitely a huge highlight of the iPhone X experience. Even this ad right here was like one of the best ads Apple has ever made. I'll have a link down below if you guys want to take a look. But yeah, the iPhone X just came packed with so many different features. One of those, of course, was 3D Touch. And for those who don't remember, 3D Touch allowed you to interact with the display as if you were actually pressing a physical button. The display was pressure sensitive and would respond based on how much pressure you applied, but nowadays it's been replaced by haptic touch, which simply measures how long your fingers rested on the display and doesn't actually measure pressure at all. But yeah, 3D Touch, as in like the technology itself, was very heavy and pretty much became very expensive for Apple to maintain in their new phone. So that's actually one of the reasons why they ended up getting rid of it. And I'd also have to say this was one of the highlights of owning this phone. It was very sad to see that Apple got rid of 3D Touch, but it was for the better to cut costs and to potentially make phones lighter. I'm not sure how true that actually is. But yeah, this iPhone X here, of course, as you guys can see, is very buggy because it's running iOS 11. So iOS 11 was not the perfect software for this phone, but over time, you know, iOS updates came out. iOS 12 and 13 were pretty much optimized for this phone, and I would say those are the best operating systems to actually gain functionality on this device. But yeah, this phone cannot be updated to iOS 17 today. It did not receive the update, which means eventually this thing is going to be phased out of Apple security updates. But for the next few years, I'm pretty sure Apple's going to continue to send out security updates for iOS 16 as the months progress. But I'd have to say this is a great collector device for anyone who's looking to get into the Apple ecosystem or just wants to build a little collection. The iPhone X is the 10th anniversary phone, and I honestly think this is one of the most important iPhones Apple has ever made. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and catch you guys on the next one.